Welcome to Restoring Men in History. Dark Knight. I love this movie. I think it's, along with Batman Begins, the greatest of superhero films. This and Batman Begins are my favorite two superhero films. And I think they're the best. And I'm going to give you 15 reasons why I think Dark Knight is so awesome. Number one, I remember sitting there being blown away from the start, from the beginning, that first bank heist. And it didn't seem like a comic book movie, just like Batman Begins. We did a video on Batman Begins. From that first bank heist, seems like professionals robbing a bank like in Michael Mann's Heat. And I remember it seemed just as realistic. It seemed like these guys are just professionals robbing a bank. And it went on for a while, and I was so invested, so energized. So Christopher Nolan, I thought, created a masterpiece right away with the gripping first minutes of the film. And it went on for a pretty long time. Tension, drama, the introduction of Joker. So good when he pulls off that mask and the banker's sitting there. And then he puts the grenade in his mouth, and we don't know what it is. And there's tension there, right? He's put this grenade and it's tied to the bus, right? And as the bus drives away, it's going to blow up. But as appropriate to the character of the Joker, it's a smoke bomb. So right away, you get the Joker. Unpredictable. You don't know if he's going to kill you or play with you. Scary. Cold, calculating the way the henchmen kill each other. And it's memorable. Number two, the music also fits that opening in the film so well. And it's written by one of my favorite, and it's written by two guys. But first, if you like this, please subscribe. Comment. What's your favorite part about the films? What's your favorite scene? What's your favorite character? And subscribe. Hans Zimmer and James Newton Howard both bring such an excellence and art to this film as composers. And they had always wanted to work together. So they got to work together on Batman Begins, and then they worked together on this film. And they're two of the best. Hans Zimmer's been one of my favorite forever. I remember after seeing this film, and I saw it with my mom and a friend, I played that over and over and over and over and over. I just loved this music. That the way he crafts the Joker music and the introduction really further enhanced bringing me in to the film and augmented the beginning of the film so well. And the ending, the Bat theme, the Batman theme, and the Joker theme. All these themes are so good, like you want to save the girl when you hear that music. Number three. It's so realistic and grounded. I think this is why I like these films so much. There's no silly moments or silly characters, and you see that in so many films today, of superhero films especially, but all kinds of films where it just takes you out of the drama, relieves the tension too much, and they're goofy and they're silly. You can see it in some of today's superhero films. They have these silly moments and silly things. We won't go through those. But it's realistic and grounded, and that's the way Christopher Nolan wanted it. He's a magnificent director. He didn't want. He wanted a darker tone and style. Christian Bale saw it as darker as well, playing the Batman that way. So you don't think comic book, you think this is realistic. Number four, that leads to the awesome and magnificent Christopher Nolan, who may be the best working director today. And I really do believe these two films are the best of all superhero films by far. They've got the seriousness and the dark tone that he wanted, the Dark Knight tone. He wanted that. Christopher Nolan chose that. He wanted it to be dark, gritty, and realistic, and he got it. He accomplished it. Batman Begins, we did a video on that. And his films, many times, and this film as well, Batman Begins, this film especially leads to discussions afterwards because it's so deep. Themes and the things we are still dealing with today are in this film. And there are consequences, right? Where Joker blows up the hospital. There's vivid and dramatic action scenes that have consequences. You can tell Christopher Nolan cares. He makes exceptional films. The casting, I remember seeing an interview of him. He had watched the old Superman with Christopher Reeves, and he'd said, that film's great because it has, one of the reasons it's great is it has fantastic actors all in the film. So he wanted fantastic actors in it. Again, his choice. He brings thinking into films. He brings emotions into films. He entertains and enlightens. And ironically, the film was made at Warner Brothers. Attention to details, to the city, Gotham, the way he wanted it. His vision of Gotham and Batman worked out well. The dark villain with the Joker, not silly, but a serious villain who's believable So amazing job to the crew, the cast. Christopher Nolan, you guys did an amazing job. Number 5, story and screenplay. A lot of movies start without a finished screenplay. This story and screenplay are solid. They've got depth, issues that resonate today. We talked about it. We'll get to them. David Goyer story with Christopher Nolan. And then Christopher Nolan and his brother Jonathan Nolan wrote this masterpiece screenplay. And the characters are so well written and, again, believable. You believe these characters. So what do you have to have? If you have great actors and great writing, you have the chance to make a masterpiece if you have amazing directing, and you had all three. Harvey Dent. And all the characters are what? They have a purpose. They're not just thrown in like some action films or some superhero films where you just throw in an extra name actor or throw in an extra known character, just throwing in a bunch of extra characters in all these films, and some of them are goofy and silly. Every character here that Jonathan and Christopher Nolan wrote has a purpose. Number 6, the great Heath Ledger as the Joker. Legendary performance that I will never forget. And I remember being blown away. And I remember my mom's reaction. I've seen it with my mom twice. And she thought it was a powerful movie, but she said, that guy is really bad. And I said, yes, Mom, he's really bad. But legendary performances. One of those performances you can just watch over and over and over, right? And he doesn't just play it well. The Joker is written well and with purpose. He's a very important and integral part. He's not just a throwaway person so we can see him be a comic and a great character and give an amazing performance. He's critical to the piece, and that's great writing and directing. He pushes people. He drives people. He manipulates them. He's a psychological warrior. And he identifies the real problem for the mob, right? The mob's having all this problem. Batman's disturbed their business. What's the solution, he says? We kill the Batman, right? That's his solution. And love how he changes the story on, this is incredible writing. You know how I got these scars? Remember how he says that through the film? He changes the story as he goes. And I remember watching that saying, that's neat, how he'll change the story. And he tells it in such an interesting way. Great performance in the way he tells each story, Heath Ledger. Just a legendary, so many great lines too, and so well written and deep and good writing. Let me just read this one to you. This is great writing. Joker and the Batman are in a face-off in that interrogation room. And he says, I don't want to kill you. What would I do without you? Right? That's powerful. Go back to ripping off mob dealers. See, they aren't a challenge to him, right? No. You complete me. Now that's a deep and amazing line, right? Because they are different. Batman, you're garbage who kills for money. Joker, this is a great line. Don't talk like one of them. You're not. Even if you'd like to be. To them, you're just a freak like me. They need you right now. But when they don't, they'll cast you out like a leper. You see, their morals, their code, it's a bad joke. Dropped at the first sign of trouble. They're only as good as the world allows them to be. I'll show you. When the chips are down, these civilized people, they'll eat each other. See, I'm not a monster. I'm just ahead of the curve. That's great writing, and writing you can discuss after the movie, right? That's such deep and fantastic writing, and he pulls it off. And again, you could have a whole discussion about that speech and the psychology of people and the way they are, and the way they are in Gotham, and the way they are in America, and the way they are in cities and the world. Right after the movie, you could discuss that for a long time. Why so serious? Another good line. I used to repeat that all the time. Why so serious, right? So he's memorable and incredible in the role. The movie's memorable. He won Best Supporting Actor. And here's the thing, not that winning an Oscar means much today because it's all messed up, but to win it in that kind of movie at that time is rather amazing. You got to be really good in this kind of movie to ever win an Oscar. And Heath Ledger blew it away. And Batman and Joker in that speech, remember that they're not watchers, right? They're both invested. Batman has a mission of purpose. Joker has something he's going for. They're not just watchers standing by. They're not NPCs. They are invested. They're not sheep. They both take initiative and act. Joker ends up pushing Batman to be what? More. He has to rise. prove, understand better. He doesn't understand that type of criminal. He's been accustomed to criminals that want money and power. Joker doesn't want money and power. He's a very unique and exceptional character. He's what? A chaos agent. Batman has a code. Joker is unpredictable. Juxtaposition. When he burns all the money of the mob, he sits there and burns this big pile of money. That's an amazing difference, right? The mob's all looking at him. I think he says something like, all I need are gasoline, gun, bullets, and they're cheap. So many good lines. Dog chasing cars. I'm just a dog chasing cars. And savoring to kill with a knife over a gun. And the way he manipulates people, psychological warfare with that cop in the cell, and he uses his mind to get out. Brilliant the way he changes people. And the magic trick scene, right? He's in that scene with the mob. How about a magic trick? He pulls out a pencil and sticks it upright into the table. I'm going to make this pencil disappear. Gamble's thug walks over to kill the Joker, who slams his face into the pencil and kills him. Ta-da! It's gone. That's an amazing, so many amazing, here's the point. He pulls that off. It's great writing, great directing, and great performance from Heath Ledger. It's magnificent. And that scene is so good. You can watch that scene over and over. That's what I'm talking about. This film's memorable, and you can watch it over and over. And he takes over that scene. Little things, well, the way he slips away from the mob, the way he pulls the wire. He's just so good at it. The way he eats the fruit when he walks into that fundraising party and eats the fruit and takes over and commands the room. Amazing. The way he holds knives up to people, and that's scary, right? That's great performance and great directing and great writing. The way he does that with a knife to people. People are scared of him. Why? Because people know, the mob knows, he will go further than Batman. And he tells him that. The mob guy tells Batman that, remember? Which is also played by a great actor, Eric Roberts. Amazing. So, Joker can strike more fear into people, and fear was a theme in Batman Begins, and Batman was trying to strike fear into people in Batman Begins, and now the Joker is striking more fear into the mob and those people. So what chaos will he wreak? That's a question this film asks a lot of questions. What will a chaos agent do? What will chaos look like? What will anarchy look like? What will he wreak on individuals? How will he change them? And what will he wreak on the city? And what would chaos do to a city? I think these are all themes running through psychological warfare and his tactics. The way he handles that cop in the cell. Do you want to know why I use a knife? Guns are too quick. You can't savor all the little emotions. You see, in their last moments, people show you who they really are. So in a way, I know your friends better than you ever did. Would you like to know which of them were cowards? And then that guy goes after him and he gets out. Psychological warfare. So he's a master at that, Joker. 7, corruption. Something else to talk about and that resonates today. Inside corruption in the DA's office in the government that's supposed to be upholding the rule of law. And you've got corruption there. Inside in the police that are supposed to be upholding the law. And you've got corruption there. And you've seen and read about corruption for a long time, for decades and decades now through history, right? Lots of corruption in government. Makes it real with the organized crime and the government workers on the take and the bribes. And what do they say? The city needs an incorruptible hero. Government needs an incorruptible hero, right? Number 8, the Batman. The Batman has a good code. And he lives by it. It guides him. And I think men need a code. It allows women to trust you. It allows men to trust you. And it allows them to know you and how you're going to react if you can stick to it. And they know where you stand and how you operate. They may not like it always, but they at least know how you will react usually, right? If you live by a code. Helps you, guides you, helps you make good decisions if you're living by a good code. And you'll be more stable to others, right? Because you're operating out of a known code, not out of anarchy and chaos. Hey, how would you like to date Joker? He wouldn't be a great guy to date, right? He's unpredictable, crazy. So, will Batman break his code is another question this movie asks. And Batman has never dealt with a criminal like the Joker, so the character will make him evolve and get better. Can the Joker get him to break his code? Will Batman allow the Joker to corrupt him? Even for the love of his life, he will not take revenge and kill the Joker. And Batman had to learn that all men are not driven by money or power. One last note we talked about in Batman Begins. Batman has no powers. So you can choose to become a better man, right? You can choose to go build muscle and lift weights. You can choose to go train in jiu-jitsu. You can choose to have an impact. You can choose to serve a purpose larger than yourself. And Batman does choose to serve a larger purpose than himself. He did not have to. He was a playboy. If you remember back to Batman Begins, he could have just run Wayne Enterprises, and you have a choice today, right? You can choose to be better. You can choose to reach your potential and have a purpose larger than yourself. Number 9, Harvey Dent. Great introduction, handled very well. And again, not just throwing in a character and a name actor for no purpose. Christopher Nolan really good in this film in The Dark Knight, and not just adding characters that have no purpose, and the film isn't overwhelmed. Harvey Dent is here, but he doesn't take anything away from the Joker, and he has good moments, and he's not wasted. Two-Face is not wasted in this film. You can get in superhero films where you've added too many characters. Harvey Dent has a great role and a purpose in this film, and he'll have a different reaction to the Joker. He's integral to the story. He's the White Knight. He's supposed to be the savior of the city, which will allow Batman to go off and be with Rachel, right? He can finally give up the cape, retire, and go away. But Dent is not strong enough. Joker breaks him as a man. Harvey Dent's a politician, and what was he supposed to do? Not break the law. He was supposed to hold the rule of law. He's the DA, and that's a problem, right? That goes along with corruption and everything, right? Not exactly making people trust in government in the city. That doesn't really help the people. If you're supposed to be a savior and you're out there breaking the law, killing people, that's not going to give the city comfort. That's going to allow prisoners to go free, and that's going to mess up the rule of law. He went into rule of man, right? He was going to go out there and take justice by himself and kill people, and he did kill people. So that's a great juxtaposition. Batman, Joker can't turn. Harvey Dent, he breaks. 10, depth of issues that resonate still today that lead to discussions. We talk about what? The state spying on people, the power of the state. There's that whole surveillance moment of people. And the Patriot Act had gone through around 2001. They were still discussing different changes in 2007. This came out, I believe, in July 2008, which allowed the government to surveil people. Not great for freedom. And I like that Christopher Nolan went this direction with this. He's a private citizen doing it, not the government. But what does he say? One man can't have this power. It's too much power, and we shouldn't be spying on people, right? So Christopher Nolan used it one time in the film, and then Batman tells Lucius does not like it. He doesn't think they should be spying on people. Does not like it at all, and he tells Batman the truth. We'll get to him in a minute. Batman says, after you use it, put your password in, and it deletes the whole program. So I really like that Nolan made this choice for on the freedom side. Come over to the freedom side, right? We always say that. And remember, it's tied back to there's corruption in the government. So, number 11, Christian Bale, the best Batman, so outstanding in the role. And he owns not just the Batman role. What else does he own? The dynamic between him and Joker is so good. The dynamic between him and Alfred is so good. Christian Bale, the dynamic between him and everyone is good. Lucius in him. Gary Oldman as Gordon in him. He plays it so well with every single actor and brings the performance to new heights. And you got two master actors going at it, Heath Ledger with Christian Bale, and then master actors with Morgan Freeman and all. We'll get to the cast. But he plays 3 characters, right? Christian Bale plays 3 characters in this movie. Batman, public Bruce Wayne, and private Bruce Wayne. And you get to see him change. He changes the performance in all 3. When he enters the party as a playboy and that fundraiser for Harvey Dent, he's like the playboy, big. When he's alone with Alfred, he's making jokes, and Alfred's joking with him. And he's the real Batman. He's got fears that he's got to overcome. Am I going to win? Did I fail? And Batman Begins, right? He's a different guy. So there's the public Bruce Wayne and the private. He plays them both well. When he's walking in the hallway after the hallway, this is an interesting scene. There's the transition. At the party, he's the playboy. In the hallway, he chokes out Harvey Dent to save him. And you can see he's transitioned to Batman, but without the cape. And he goes through the hallway and disarms that guy and disassembles the gun real rapidly, right? Then he goes into that room and becomes Batman, comes out to fight. And with Rachel, you see him as the real Bruce Wayne sometimes, and when he moves the tables in the restaurant, as the public Bruce Wayne. So it's very interesting for Christian Bale to play 3 characters. Car crash in the Lamborghini, again, a good playboy moment. seems clueless. And then as Batman, Christian Bale talks about this and the way they wanted it darker. He says he's a beast. Batman is a beast. So a different performance. Number 12, we just talked about it a little bit. Number 12, the supporting cast is just awesome, from Gary Oldman, Morgan Freeman. How many great actors are in this film? Well, I missed Katie Holmes, but Morgan Freeman, sensational actor. Gary Oldman, so many great actors. Eric Roberts playing the Italian. So many great characters and subtle performances, right? You've got those little moments where like Morgan Freeman's in the office and that guy's trying to blackmail, the accountant's trying to blackmail Wayne Enterprises. And Morgan Freeman, we're not going to do the speech, but he gives a few sentences and then he says, and he, with one look, after the accountant says I need $10 million every year, Morgan Freeman says, let me get this straight. You're going to do the blah, blah, blah. Good luck. And it's just this look he gives. And then the look Jim Gordon gives when Batman has delivered Lau with a note. If you watch the film again, watch the smirk on Jim Gordon, Gary Oldman's face. It's like mastery in acting from Morgan Freeman and Gary Oldman. They are so good. And this film is so good, it doesn't have any weakness. Michael Caine brings humor to the film, not in a silly way, in a character way, right? He's funny from his character. And again, this is one of the reasons this film is so fantastic. It has no silly moments in the film that are just silly that you see in a lot of superhero films. And let's see. Michael brings humor, and he's kind of a father figure like because his father's gone, but he can tell Bruce Wayne the truth and the absolute truth and tease him. Lucius tells him the truth sometimes too, and he acts differently with Lucius as well, Bruce Wayne. But you want in life some people around you who can tell you the truth. You need that. Who can stand up to you and challenge you and make you better. Alfred can make Batman contemplate and reflect and be better, and he will challenge him. And you need a friend like that. You need a friend who will challenge you. Lucius also stands up to him about their surveillance. Great moment. 13, true sacrifice. And that expands and makes a hero even greater, right? Goes beyond a hero. At the end of the film, for the city, Batman becomes more than a hero. He sacrifices glory in the name of Batman and takes the blame for killing others. Why? Why does he do that? For the city. Because he believes they need an incorruptible hero like Harvey Dent. So he takes the blame, even though Harvey Dent has killed the people. Batman takes the blame, and they chase him off. The police chase him off. And that was a sad moment for me in the theater. Really sad. Because I thought Batman deserved statue. And I was like, he needs statue. I don't like this, right? So that's true sacrifice and selflessness. And Batman giving the glory to a man who did not deserve it for a city that Batman thought was worthy of it, right? 14, the depth of the film, keeping the suspense and asking what others would do in various places. You got the boat scene where the Joker plays this thing where he gives 2 detonators and he's, put 2 boats out there with bombs. He says to the 2 groups of people, one has to blow up the other one. So, right, he's given an ultimatum. And this is deep. How would you react? That's another question. Christopher Nolan's asking questions through this film. How would you react? Would you blow up the other people so that your people could live, so he says? Or would you take the chance and not? And that's a question, right? It's a deep film that you can discuss. Again, this film has incredible action, the hospital blowing up and all the good fights, everything, great fights in everything. But it also raises questions about how you would act. What is your code? What are your morals? What are your ethics? Joker doesn't think they will pass the test. He thinks one of them will blow up the other. He's the chaos agent, right? And again, he's giving people the choice in theory. He wants to get them involved. He doesn't want to do it. He wants them to do it. He wants to be the change agent. So again, White Knight and all that. And one thing I would stress is an incorruptible person, but it is really up to us if we want to save the cities and we want good government, how we vote, and not wait for one white knight or one person to fix it all. But we need to fix it through voting. And you say, well, if it's all corrupt, okay, if you say it's all corrupt, then we've got to fix the corruption, right? So we can't just be on the sidelines and complain about it. But anyway, he keeps giving people choices. He has the henchmen fight each other for the one slot. That's Joker. Gives Batman the choice, which I don't think is really much of a choice for Batman. He decides rapidly, but he gives the choice. You can save one, either Rachel or the White Knight for your city. And I think it'd be an easy choice for me to save the girl you love. And for Batman, it was an easy choice. He goes for the girl, and then, of course, there's someone else to go save the other guy. Of course, that's another plot twist. But Batman goes for the girl, and he sends Gordon after the White Knight, Harvey Dent. So very deep story with all these things to talk about after the film: corruption, surveillance, what goes on today about freedom. 15, lastly. How will we react to loss, setbacks, and obstacles? The great juxtaposition was what? They showed Batman versus Harvey Dent, how they would react, how they would deal with the death of Rachel, right? Both of them love Rachel. Joker kills Rachel. Harvey Dent falls to pieces and turns to become a villain. Batman, however, sticks to his code. So this is interesting, right? We talked about it a little bit, how one falls completely and can't get back up, right? Harvey Dent can't learn how to pick himself back up again. Batman, through resilience, goes on, remains Batman, sticks to his code. He has what? Resilience, a virtue. Courage, a virtue. And Batman sacrifices for the city. Selflessness and sacrifice, leaving you a little sad, but nevertheless a memorable movie. The man who should have been honored ends up having to run from the police and sacrifice. Should have had a statue built for him, right? Instead, he gives away the honor. Batman stays on mission and keeps his code. Harvey Dent becomes a villain. And so when you're faced with obstacles and challenges, what will you do? If you like this subject, subscribe, like, and comment. What's your favorite part of this film? Thank you.